Joe Biden is about to get a supreme check on his power. The Supreme Court hearing arguments all day in two cases challenging the president's student loan handout program. Biden thought he could act like a king by wiping out $500 billion of debt and make you, the taxpayer, pay for it. But not so fast. A coalition of 6 GOP-led states are fighting back, and now the top court will decide if Joe overstepped his authority. Chuck Schumer and the squad bashing the conservative justices and demanding they won't side with Biden.
90% of the relief going to out-of-school borrowers will go to those earning less than $75,000 a year. This isn't a handout to the wealthy.
Callous and spiteful Republican officials, disconnected from the hardship of everyday folks who are burdened by this debt.
They want this radicalized extremist Supreme Court to take away the hope that the President of the United States has given those of us who have been rallying for this cause.
This unhinged Supreme Court can make all these decisions, but we're not going anywhere. The President of the United States, I hope they can hear me, does have the legal authority to cancel debt.
But it's going to be an uphill battle. Biden's legal argument is drawing some skepticism from the Chief Justice.
I think most casual observers would say if you're going to give up that much amount of money, if you're going to affect the obligations of that many Americans on a subject that's of great controversy, they would think that's something for Congress to act on.
The Biden administration claims the student debt giveaway is no different than the government bailing out businesses during the pandemic. And a teacher's happy union boss agrees.
During the pandemic, we understood that small businesses were hurting, and we helped them, and it didn't go to the Supreme Court to challenge it. All of a sudden, when it's about our students, they challenge it, the corporations challenge it, the student loan lenders challenge it. That is not right. That is not fair.
Okay, Greg, are your ears okay?
How can you be a liberal when everybody that represents you screams so loudly? We just saw 4 people screaming, as if they were faced with the apocalypse because other people don't want to hand over their money to them. And somehow it's the end of the world because we refuse to hand over our money for nothing.
And it appears that the Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts, in the sound that we got earlier, comparing 2 students who graduate from high school. One gets a loan to go to college. The other gets a loan to buy equipment for his lawn company. Mm-hmm. And the Justice Roberts says it's basically a question of fairness. Mm-hmm. Is that what this is all about?
Well, it's definitely, they call it debt relief, but it's more like a debt penalty. And the fact that whenever they say debt relief, you have to correct them because it's actually being paid for by somebody else. The reason why we're having this problem is because tuition skyrocketed. And why did it skyrocket? Because debt was so easy in the first place, right? Schools jacked up the tuition because the banks were handing out high-interest loans like they were fentanyl in a drug den. They created this debt spiral. And now their idea is to make it worse by handing out more and more free money, which is only going to make the tuitions higher. This is what I would like to see is Biden actually explain to just a normal person, not a progressive, why this is. Go to a blue-collar, middle-class, the guy who owns the lawn company, and explain to that person who never took anybody else's money, who either paid off his kids' loans or he paid off his loans, and tell him why he has to pay for other people's kids who are better off than his kids are. Why does he have to do that? And he can't. And if they lose, there has to be a class action suit where every kid, or as an adult, gets to sue to get their money back, the people who paid their tuitions, because it's not the taxpayers' fault. It's the banks and the schools. I'm for this. I'm for debt relief. If the banks and the schools pay for it. We bailed out the banks. What are they getting out of this? Make them pay. They're the one with the high interest loans.
That's right. That's right.
I'm turning into a communist.
Yes, you are. It's
The
good
banks
to
paid
know.
it back.
And you know what, Jesse? The amazing part of this is that this case itself is a huge test of presidential powers. This case forever changes presidential powers if the court rules in Biden's favor. And the executive branch, the overreach is the fundamental issue here. You know, Biden, if you remember before the midterms, he basically said, you know, the checks are in the mail.
Well, I'm not a constitutional scholar, but it's illegal to bribe. It's really illegal when the president does it to get reelected. So the Democrats want credit for not fixing a problem that they created. So let me get this straight. The Democrats push millions of Americans into debt and then say, you know what, we're going to comp about 5% of it. They want credit for that. And then Republicans are supposed to be mean because under the Constitution, bribery is illegal. That's basically what's going on. The politicians are in cahoots with the universities. They jack up debt. They put you in a $200,000 debt dungeon. They give you a worthless degree, and they teach you that America's racist. So you get out of college. You think everything's racist. So Joe says, here's a check for 10 grand. And the Republicans say you can't do that, and they want you to be mad at the Republicans. They want you to be mad at the racist court that says bribery is illegal and say, now this racist court needs to be packed, and you better vote for me again. And the fact that they have the nerve, Judge, to say that the Republican Party isn't really in touch with the working class men and women of this country. This is a Democratic Party that hasn't even visited East Palestine.
Yeah.
That hollowed out these Rust Belt towns, that doesn't go to the border towns, that wanted to fire frontline essential workers for not getting vaxxed, you know, who's jacking up energy prices, jacking up food prices. And we're supposed to feel sorry for a person that got a graduate degree that is renting a studio apartment in Georgetown and is still single? We're supposed to feel sorry for a depressed single person with a graduate degree who lives in Boston. Why am I feeling sorry for them? Why are they the forgotten men and women of this country?
You just described the MSNBC viewer.
Why are we bailing out these people? These are the last people we should be bailing out. And it is hard to run against free money, because that's the challenge.
That is the
challenge. What can you do when you're running against free money?
All right, Dana. It sounds like when you've got the likes of Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and even Elizabeth Warren and, you know, everybody saying this is legal, the president has the right to do this. And already they're starting to attack the institution of the Supreme Court. It sounds like a run-up to the Dobbs decision, where they're almost predicting what it's going to be, and they're basically saying that we know it's legal and questioning the credibility of the Supreme Court.
Perfect question for me. Okay, so the women you saw yelling so vociferously, the reason Joe Biden is in this position is, one, he made a terrible decision, but it's because the squad pushed him into it. If you go back and you see Joe Biden on the campaign trail and in his first year in office, and then also backed up by Speaker Pelosi, they were telling the squad, the president of the United States doesn't have the legal authority to do this. We understand what you're saying. We agree that it's a problem, but they don't have the legal authority to do that. Only Congress could do that. But what happens? They get pushed back from the left. Ron Klain, the chief of staff of the White House, doesn't tell them to sit down. He says, maybe we got to accommodate them. And they want to bribe the younger voters before the midterm elections. So they said, OK, we're going to do it. And the Supreme Court says, not so fast, we think this is illegal, so we're going to have to have a listen to it. So what the justices were saying today was exactly what Biden and Pelosi said at the beginning. So, yeah, I'm glad that the squad went there, because they're the ones that put them there in the first place. Do you see Abigail Spanberger there? No. Were there any moderate Democrats there? No, moderate Democrats were there because they know it's illegal. But this is the play, Judge. This is what they always do. So the Democrats will exceed their power, okay, and then they'll dare somebody to sue them for it. They know that it's illegal, but they exceed the power. They dare you to sue them. You sue them and you win. And then it's the court that's racist. It's the court that's wrong. It's the institution that's bad. And then they're worried about people not having any faith in the institutions.
But Harold, the issue is, even if they win, the question is it on the merits or is it procedural? So let's talk about the fact that Amy Coney Barrett, and I think you and I have visited this in the past, Amy Coney Barrett would not halt the student loan forgiveness, because the individuals who sued, the plaintiffs, plaintiffs did not have standing. So now the issue is, do the people before the Supreme Court have standing? Can the Supreme Court make a decision and then the White House says, gee, we won because they didn't have standing, when they know they don't win on the merits?
This case is different. They now have standing. This is a few states, several states, and a few individuals. Look, even when we had that difference of opinion outside, I never believed that this case was not a strong case. You still have to have standing to bring the matter. You and I can't bring certain matters against certain people and vice versa. But let me agree with you. This is not a run-up to Dobbs for this reason. Dobbs, there was precedent already for 50 years. The precedent here is
they're going to say the precedent is the HEROES Act.
Can I just, the president, no, they're wrong. You know why? Because the HEROES Act was voted on by Congress. When President Bush, I criticized President Bush yesterday around, and really in a favorable way, by saying, look, he thought what was right. He thought he was right in doing what he did with the Iraq War. It turned out wrong. And President Bush had to send Secretary Paulson and Chairman Bernanke before the Congress to urge them to vote for the bill that Greg mentioned, the legislation that provided money for the banks so the economy would not go under. They did not pass that vote the first time. The market dropped 900 points that day, and the next day they finally passed it. Even the COVID relief that Ms. Weingarten was speaking of when she was, the clip we showed of her, Congress voted on that. So if we believe, and I happen to believe, not giving everyone student debt relief, we've talked about on this show, we ought to give some relief to those professions where we really need help. I believe in national strategic investments. What we're doing with the Semiconductor Chip Act is akin to that. Why not provide relief to engineers, including mechanics and plumbers? Why not provide relief to teachers and nurses and emergency physicians where we need more people doing? That's where the investment ought to be. But even if you do that, Judge, you still have to go back before the Congress. So I would caution some of my Democratic friends. I share your view that there should be some relief for students who are faced with crushing burdens. But this is not the way to do it. This is a congressional matter. Congress cannot be run around. We're going to have a moment where there's going to be a Republican president who's going to do something we don't like, and we're going to yell and we're going to scream. Do it the right way, make the case, and perhaps the country. I think we could convince a big part of the country to come along to give nurses and emergency physicians and mechanics and plumbers and other engineers a break on their tuition.
Do you know how many zeros there are in 400 trillion?
40 trillion, I think, is what you meant. But 400 trillion would be 1 zero more than the 40.
It's 11 zeros. I counted them.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.